Good morning. Hello, it's Tracy with TRCast, and happy to be here on our Tuesday morning live demo. Hopefully your stream, or you're catching the stream either on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. I'm going to kind of check both of them right now to see if things are showing up like they should be. And I'm excited about today's project. It's oh, yay. Looks like it's going on YouTube. Looks like it is. Yep, looks like it's going on Facebook. And if you are popping in, thank you for joining me. My demo today, my job here at TRCast, and if you're new to my demos, I'm Tracy. I work for a company called TRCast, and we create we are a manufacturing company here in Northern California in the US, and we make jewelry components. So we're a casting company. So we use lead-free pewter, and we make toggles and charms and beads and all kinds of wonderful stuff for your jewelry making. And we also do wire products like head pins, eye pins, ear wires. Our ear wires are marvelous. And including niobium ear wires. So we make a lot of things. And somebody's saying, Elise is saying hello from rainy Missouri. Elise, I'm glad you made it. Elise had commented on one of our posts yesterday announcing our demo and said she hoped she could join us. So look, she made it. And hello, Helena and Melanie. Glad you guys are here. So I was just talking a little bit about TRCast. Company was founded in 1978. So we're going on, it'll be our 44th year of operation in October. So, we're proud of that. We're a U.S. manufacturer, and we've been here for a long time. And we're a small company. There's, I think, less than 20 of us right now, maybe 18-ish. I'm not sure. I'm not HR. I don't keep track of that, but we're a pretty small company. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Rosalinda. Hello, Cookie. I'm so glad to see you guys. So far, everybody popping in and commenting is watching on Facebook. So I'm hoping we've got some people on YouTube too. If you're watching on YouTube, comment so that I can see that everything's working properly on the YouTube end. So I've been with TRCast for 16 years, and I am the content marketer and do the bulk of the jewelry design. We don't sell finished jewelry. We create a lot of jewelry for inspiration projects and for our marketing purposes. So we photograph them. They turn up, and when we need pretty imagery, that's where the jewelry shows up. And good morning, Sherry. Sherry is popping in from YouTube. Yay. So we don't sell finished jewelry, but we use them for marketing. And so it's a fun job. I like it. And because we make a variety of products, we're always trying to show things in a variety of techniques and ways. So today is chainmail. Now, I created this design. You know what? While we're right here, I'm going to pop sorry, words, sometimes hard. The URL, the link that will take you to the inspiration page on our website is always in the description of our videos, and I'm also popping it into the comments right here. Hope that's showing up right. No, that's hilarious. It says Berrylicious chainmail bra. Let me fix that. I'm going to pop that link here so that you guys can look that project up and see the part list and see all the instructions. And there is a downloadable project sheet that you can print out, which is what I was just showing you right here. So I created this chainmail design because we produced a Rosalinda, don't be scared. It's not hard. And Cindy is popping in, and she's watching on YouTube. What was I saying? Projects. New catalog. We put out a new catalog 2 years ago, I want to say. And if you're interested in that, you can download that from our website. Maybe I'll throw that link to you too. So if catalogs are always kind of fun. I'm always creating jewelry for our product launches. So those are always, I think the only way I can get you guys to the catalog is to just give you the homepage link for our website. You get the chainmail bra link again. That's hilarious. The homepage of our website, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a link where you can actually download our catalog. I'm finding that hilarious, you guys, because if you've ever like cosplay and stuff and those cosplay kind of themes that are very medieval. So people make elaborate chainmail garments. So a chainmail bra is not a crazy concept. You would definitely find something like that at like a cosplay event like that. So that's why I'm finding it so entertaining. What we're demoing today is just a bracelet, not a bra. I do have a friend who made one of those once, though. Okay, back to the catalog. We launched a new catalog a couple years ago, and what's fun about that process is that we are organizing the pages and we're putting the parts on the various pages, and space allowing, we'll want a piece of jewelry, usually a fresh one. We want to do something new, so we'll do a piece of jewelry that shows the parts that are going on that page. So this particular chainmail design was, of course, going on the jump ring page of our last catalog launch. So it was fun to do. And it's not a complicated pattern, and we'll get started on it in a couple of minutes. I do want to talk about round jump rings and chainmail. If you haven't done chainmail before and you go to look at chainmail patterns, what you will find, I'm going to actually post yet another little something in the comments. I have to see if I can fix the layout, though. I'm going to get a bunch of funky spacing here if I just copy and paste it right in there. There's a thing called the aspect ratio of a round jump ring, and that is what people, when you look at a chainmail pattern, sorry, multitasking. I'm going to see if I can fix the spacing on this before I post this link. Always multitasking. Okay, got it. There's a thing called aspect ratio. And what that refers to is the inside dimension of the jump ring. I just posted a nice little explanation that came right from the catalog page. So it has to do with the inner dimension and the size of the ring and the gauge of the wire. And a chainmail pattern will often say you need a jump ring with this aspect ratio. So so that's what that means. So it applies to round jump rings. Typically, oval ones, you're not going to find oval jump rings as much in chainmail. I suppose it's possible, but really not so much. Kimberly's excited. She hasn't done chainmail before. So, it says first time doing chainmail. Are you going to make along, Kimberly? Maybe. Yeah, chainmail was an important technique in the Renaissance time period, and earlier on. People made battle wear out of metal to protect themselves, and chainmail was a big part of that. So, all right, I'm blabbing a lot today, but I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera. Oh, and I should also say, this pattern, which you will, if you download the project sheet, this pattern that I used for this particular bracelet is, where did I put that info? It's on the back, is called a stepping stones weave. And I got the initial pattern idea and the images for the pattern from Simon, a lovely human named Simon Livingston. He's got a website called Chainmaille 101. And his website definitely veers into that kind of Renaissance-y type of work. But chainmaille101.com, I'm just going to put that in there too, is where I originally got the idea for using this pattern. And Simon was kind enough to let me include his images so I didn't have to recreate them myself. 101.com. I'm including a link here to his page on his website that has this pattern. Hopefully that link is going to work. It's been a little while since I actually used it, so hopefully. Anyway, thank you to Simon for that, because it would have been, a challenge to have to recreate all of these figure images that I was able to use in our project. So what we need for this project is, I've got a little pile of our largest round jump rings. They're an 18 gauge and they're 8mm ID. That the measurement of the inside of the jump ring is kind of an important part of the aspect ratio. So that's why you always see our round jump rings on our website. They're described with the ID, the inside dimension. So these are 8mm. I've got a little pile of those. I need 10 of them for the design. I've got a little pile of our smallest round jump ring, and this is a 20 gauge 4mm ID. I'm going to be using those in both gold and silver because I mixed the metals on this. You could certainly do this design in just silver or just gold, whatever you wanted, but I liked the idea of the mixed metals here, so I'm using the gold and the silver. And the gold is sort of the not the primary color. You can see the silver too, but there's more of the gold jump rings. I used 146 of those. And then the silver ones, I used 64. And then I'm also embellishing. What makes this design fun is the little seed bead embellishment, and that's size 6 seed beads. So that's the very last step of the project. And then you need to toggle. The one I used for the original design is my favorite. If you guys watch me and have watched me in the past, you know I'll say that this classic toggle is my go-to. I love this I love the detail, and it's small. It's just my go-to. But for the one I'm going to do today, I'm going to use our heart melody. Do we call this the melody? What the heck do we call this? Let me look. Jubilee, not melody. We have a similar toggle that's an oval shape, but it has the same feel and came out at the same time. And that one is called the melody. And then the heart one is called the Jubilee. And we've had that one in our line for a very long time. So I'm going to move this stuff a little bit out of the way. Some jump ring tips. You want to use your most comfortable tools because making chainmail is a lot of repetitive motion. So you really want to use your most comfortable tools. So I've pulled over my Lindstroms today. They're my favorites. And also you want to be careful of the repetitive motion. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to talk a little bit about stretching and taking care of your hands. Kimberly's saying she did gather some supplies. However, she suspects I'll be faster than her. And I, of course, will have a cheat too, Kimberly, because I did a bunch of my segments in advance. But yeah, so it's going to go a little faster. But that's where you just pause the video and catch up, and then you can restart the video. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I actually want my preferred couple of pliers for doing this is my bent nose and my flat nose. So the first thing I want to do is pick up a couple of the smallest silver jump rings, and I'm going to close these as nicely as I can, kind of as well met as I can, for two reasons. I don't want the little gaps in the jump rings to show, and also if they're really closed well, then they won't be scratchy. So I'm going to do the little back and forth wiggle, and I'm also pushing the ends towards each other. And what I'm going for is a little click. I've pushed the ends close enough. I hope this is focusing well. And not so much. Let me put something underneath and maybe it'll force it to focus a little better on what I'm doing. But what I'm going for is a little click, and that tells me that the metal ends are right up next to each other, and that is closed as well as it can be. So that's a good tip for little chainmail projects, is that going for that little click. So I'm going to do 2 of these jump rings, 2 of the silver ones, and I'm just running my thumb over it. That also tells me that the close is pretty good if I can't feel a whole lot of roughness. So I've got 2 of the silver jump rings, and I'm now attaching one of the little gold jump rings to both of them. Let me show you guys if I can get this up. Focus, please focus. Come on. Never focuses when I'm trying to show you guys something close. It never focuses quite as much as I would like it to. I don't quite know why. But this pattern is made. It's got the big 8mm jump rings, and then it's got segments of the smaller jump rings, and they're all in doubles. So I've got 2 of the silvers, and they're all linked with 2 of the golds. So it's a little kind of 2 at a time process. So the first thing I'm doing is I started with my 2 silvers, and now I'm attaching 2 golds. I'm actually going to attach 4 golds, because the first step of this is to make these little segments. They're called 4-in-1 segments. Excuse me, 4-in-2 segments. So it's the original 2, and then I'm attaching 4 of the golds. And good light is also real helpful. Good light and good eyewear, whatever magnification you use to help you with your jewelry making. I often think I would like to have a pair of those really fancy, like magnifying, what is that brand? They're really wonderful magnifying glasses that you wear for jewelry making. You see them at the bead shows all the time, and I've never bought myself a pair. So I've got now the 2 silver ones and 2 gold ones. Can you guys see that? I'm using pins to kind of separate them so you can kind of see what's going on. Just the 2 silvers and then 2 and 4, a total of 4 golds connected. And now I'm gonna keep those pins handy. I'm going to add 2 more silvers to a pair of the gold rings. And you want to make sure you attach the jump ring to a pair. You don't want to kind of get it tangled around the other jump ring, because that'll cause you problems. And then I'm going to attach 2 golds to that most recent pair of silver. And so you can see I'm just following a pattern here. I'm creating a segment, and it's the 4-in-2 pattern, and it's going to be 7 segments long, if that makes sense. But I'll show you once I've got them all connected. You'll be able to see. Optivisor, that might be it, but I think there's a brand name. There's a fancy brand name. Hi, Pamish. They're a little bit expensive, so I've just never committed. but people rave about them. And if you're going to do a lot of this kind of work, I imagine that it would be worthwhile investment for sure. All right, how are we doing? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these two golds are my last pair that I'm going to attach, and then this segment will be finished. Okay, so there, get those out of the way. You can see that there's 4 pairs of the gold jump rings and 3 pairs of the silver, and that is one segment that is 7 like links long, and that is one of these little segments here that kind of attaches to the large round jump ring. And so I need a total of 10 of those. So there's one, and I know I mentioned stretching and taking care of your hands and stuff while you're doing this kind of work. I really recommend, I've done my segment. I'm literally going to let go of my tools and put them down and maybe stretch my hands a little bit. So whatever stretches that you do to take care of your hands and your arms when you're doing jewelry, and also to look up because you're looking down, down, down. You want to stop and look up and just do those little stretches and look away from your work every time you're done with the segment. And that's just a good thing to keep from just, you get in a zone and you keep going and going and going and going, and pretty soon your arms hurt or your neck hurts. So I really recommend between each segment, I just put my tools down and I look away and do some stretches. So you can see that I did a whole series of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that will make a bracelet. This bracelet is just about 7.5 inches long. You could, if you needed a shorter one, you could do 9 segments. You need a longer one, obviously. You just add an additional segment. So the next thing we do with all these segments is we're going to start linking them together. So let me refer back to my instructions. Oh, all right. I jumped the gun. I forgot that there's still another thing I need to do with the segment. These ones are all complete. And so let me show you one of these so I can. So now that these little segments of the 7 pairs of rings are put together, the next step is to add another pair of gold jump rings to each of the silver pairs. Could you guys see this? So silver pair, silver pair, silver pair. Each one of those is attached with the golds into my segment, and then I'm attaching an additional gold pair to each of those silver pairs. So these ones are all done, but I do need to add those additional pairs to the one I just did. I do find, you may have noticed that I picked up my chain nose pliers there. I do find the flat nose pliers easier when I'm working with the chainmail. I don't know why. So 2 gold ones attached to that first pair of silver rings, 2 attached to the center, and 2 more attached to the other end. All right, now these are ready. So now what I'm going to be doing, Kimberly is saying she loves the Lindstrom RX series pliers. Is that what these ones are? These have been in my shop for so long. But they are my favorite. If I'm doing a lot of work, I definitely would go with these pliers instead of just sort of the garden variety ones that tend to be a little bit smaller. So that just is something smaller you have to hold on to, where these have these nice bigger handles. And it's just a little bit easier on you if you're working and working and working. All right. So the next thing we're doing is we're going to start attaching these segments and linking them together using these larger silver jump rings. So what I'm going to do is open one of these large jump rings and attach and just run that through those final pair of gold jump rings that we attached, like so. Oops, I missed one. 2, 3. So those 3 pairs of jump rings that we attached as the last step when we were making our segment. If I spread it out, you can kind of see what's happening there. Hopefully, if this is focusing. Okay, maybe if I zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see what's happening there. So now I've left, oops, I'm gonna zoom back out. I've left that jump ring open, and because now what I need to do is attach one of these actually I'm gonna go ahead, well, no, I'm not sure if that'll work. How about if I look at my directions and see how I told myself to do it? Okay, so here's my next segment. Sometimes a pair of tweezers is handy in this process too. So I want to take the end pair of gold jump rings and also attach that to that first oval. To that first 8mm round. And I'm going to do that on the other side too. And I'm alternating. So well, in theory, I'm alternating. If I'm doing it correctly, I'm alternating. The last pairs of gold ones that we attached on this one. Now these are aiming in this direction, right? Because I'm attaching that large round jump ring. So when I attach my second segment, I want those pairs to be aimed the other way, because this is kind of a zigzag pattern. So I want to be attaching the next round one here. And the same goes with my third segment. I want those last 3 pairs to be aiming opposite the very first one. So I'm paying attention to that, and I've attached a segment on one side, and now I'm going to attach a segment on the other. And then I can close that round jump ring. And again, with the pushing the ends together and going for that little click that tells me that the ends, oh, and I've kind of squished that one, that the ends are nice and tight to each other. All right, so now I've got 3 segments attached. I've really got that jump ring misshapen. I think I'm not going to ignore that for now, but I might replace that one because it got a little out of round. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so another jump ring, another big round one. I'm going to come through that end pair of the center segment. And then I'm going to come through those 3 gold pairs that are hanging off the bottom of that segment. I want to kind of spread those out so you guys can kind of see where they're going. And then I'm going to do the same over here. Catch the gold pairs. Oops, I seem to be missing one. Oh, it's way up here. So I caught my 3 gold pairs, and then I'm also catching that the end link of that middle segment. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, and I thought of this yesterday, but forgot by today, I don't have to worry right now too much about the center jump rings being closed really nicely, because we're going to open those again. We're going to be embellishing them with seed beads. So I'm not going to worry too much about those right now. I am ready to attach another chain segment, and because I'm alternating where the rounds are, I want those bottom pairs to be hanging in this direction. So again, I'm going to open that one jump ring back up and attach the end link. Guess I could have done that before I closed it, right? And then I can attach, open up another jump ring and come in and catch all my lower pairs. I hope that the words make sense, but I really am great that I'm trying to explain as I go. I really am very grateful to Simon for the steps that he created for this project. So the words, the instructions on the downloadable PDF are pretty good. So you'll be able to follow those directions pretty easily. They're probably much cleaner and make more sense than how I'm trying to describe them as I'm working. All right, and so then we're just going to continue that. We're going to keep attaching the segments and connecting them together. The only little thing I got to do here is remember to alternate the sides of the final 3 pairs of gold jump rings. And that, that kind of mixing the metals also makes this a little bit easier. If this was all silver, I feel like it might be a little, this one's going to go this way, might be a little more confusing. Because right now I know I'm going for pairs of gold jump rings. If I was doing this with all silver, I just feel like it could get a little bit confusing. How are we doing here? This one feels tangled. It might not be, but it feels a little tangled. See if I can get it figured out. What's happening? So if this is, it feels like it's tangled up, and that must be because I got the larger jump ring through a ring it's not supposed to be attached to. So let me just take it out and try again. That feels better. And it's also going to be attached to this pair at the end. And then this one needs to be attached to that previous one as well. So it's coming together. So you can see it's not a particularly challenging pattern. You just kind of got to keep going and keep attaching everything. Next one. Better not do that. I'll confuse myself for sure. I need to attach these first, and then I can tell which way to attach the. Okay, got them. This one's going on this side, so it can go here. No, upside down. There we go. Oh, and before I do that, I'm going to attach another one before I close this. Definitely, chainmail definitely does take some concentration. You know, once you get your pattern figured out, then it'll get easier, but it definitely takes some concentration. I got that jump ring on this one attached to one too many of the gold jump rings. So I need to take that off or detach it from that larger silver. I'm doing a good job with my jump ring closures because it's hard to find the openings. I'm gonna say that's a plus. All right, now what happened? Where does that need to be attached? Oh, another thing I wanted to throw in the comments for you guys. Well, I'm going to throw some links in for the for both the toggles and the jump rings. And then my original design there's links for the toggles and the jump rings. And then my original design, I used these pretty, this is why I named it Berrylicious, because this particular seed bead color was just so berry-like. And once I got it done, that's just the name that came to me. So I had to choose what color to do for my demonstration. I'm like, I can't choose one color. So we're going to do a rainbow. So I had a link. I was about why does the rainbow have 7 colors? And I thought I would share that with you guys too. I just thought, why pick one color? Let's go for a rainbow. So that's how I'm going to do this one. Now there will be more than 7 segments of beads, but that's okay. We'll repeat them. But of course, you can, you can, of course, choose whatever color, do this design in whatever palette you want. There we go. And again, I'm as a habit kind of trying to close my jump rings very nicely, but since I'm going to be opening them again to add the seed beads, I really don't have to worry about it too much right now. All right. Have I got this aimed the right way? Are my jump rings hanging off the right side? That's the question, so that I can attach it right. Okay, got my 3 doubles on and catching that last pair on the previous segment. Makes it seem so easy. But we've got 3 more segments to attach. These these jump rings are We have several kinds of round jump rings. These ones, there's three sizes in this series. So there's this one that's a 4 millimeter, and then there's a 6 millimeter that I'm not using for the project, but it's also it's in this series. And then there's this 8 millimeter, and they're all like 19 and 20 gauge wire, and it's pretty soft wire, so they're nice and easy to open. And then if you want to work hardened jump rings, you may already know this, then one of the tricks is just to twist it back and forth a couple times, like 3 times before you actually kind of close it, do the final close. Let's see, I'm going to go this way, right? No, this way. And that work hardens it a little bit because this wire is kind of a half hard. And if I go 1, 2, 3, then I'm work hardening it a little bit, which will keep it a little bit, keep it from coming open. Now, in doing that, I demonstrated that very badly, and I kind of bent my jump ring. But again, I can replace that if I need to. And maybe I'll just put the seed beads on it and it'll camouflage it and I won't even have to do that. And I did the same thing I did before. When I catch that pair, I'm catching one of the last jump rings too, and I don't. So I have to disconnect this one because I need it to be in the, I've got it attached with the wrong pair. So come on. All right. It can definitely be a very kind of quiet and meditative process. Oops. I closed that and I need it to be open so I can catch this pair here. Carrie, are you working along, I wonder? If Carrie, she had said she pulled out some supplies and was maybe going to work along with it. Don't know if she's actually doing that and how it's going for her. So you can see how it's coming together, just alternating the segments. Mm-hmm. And you can see it really takes a lot of kind of visual concentration. So again, stopping occasionally and really looking away and resting your eyes and your neck while you're doing this. Good practice. All right, is that all my segments? I've got a loose one, look at that. So that's an easy fix. I can tell just by where it is that it needs to be attached to this jump ring. Where's the opening? There it is. needs to be attached to this one. And let's see. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good. Everything looks like it's attached where it needs to be. So I've got, let me think. Now, we've got all the segments attached. Now I need to remember what I did at the very end to attach the toggle components. So the segment ends with a large ring and the 2 golds and then a couple of final pairs of silver and a gold. So I think I'm going to attach the toggles to this pair down here. And I probably don't want to keep the pair. I probably just want to remove one of those and use that a single one to attach the toggle component. So let's get rid of that. And attach clasp bar. And do the same at the other end. And this, especially where you're attaching your toggle component, that would be a very good place to do that little work hardening trick. So make sure that jump ring's kind of secure. All right. I dropped it, guys, so give me a second. I have to retrieve it from the floor. There we go. So that's the entire assembly without the seed bead accents. So even that is very nice. And what I like about chainmail is I love the way it feels. So if you haven't worn chainmail, just know that it feels very kind of luxurious. I really enjoy wearing chainmail pieces. So here's where we want to, I'm going to get rid of this little extra tray. Slide all our stuff over. And I'm going to start adding some little size 6 seed beads in the order of the rainbow. That just seems like such a nice springy choice. All right. Kimberly said she started to work along with me, but then she just decided to watch and come back to it later. So I'm going to start with 3. Now here I'm going to switch to my chain nose pliers because I want to hold this jump ring right at the tip because I'm going to need all this room for my seed beads. I need to allow plenty of space to slide those 3 seed beads on there. And I have to kind of wiggle it over without losing the seed beads. I can do it. There we go. And it fell off. This is doable, guys. I know it because I did it right before. So I've got my seed beads on there. I'm just going to grab that end so that they don't fall off. And then I can close that jump ring its final time. And here's where I do want to pay nicer attention to my closure to make sure it's nice and tidy. So got my red ones on, orange, and Never mind, forgot what I was going to say. I had some important little tidbit to add, but it went away. Maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't. You can see that when I put that last seed bead on, the chainmail segment is just kind of, and the curve of the jump ring is just making it want to, I don't know, kick that last one off. So I have to keep catching it with my pliers. Of course, you want to be careful with the pliers and the seed beads because sometimes glass beads and pliers, you know, you don't want your beads to get broken. You got to be careful. I can't tell you how many projects I've done where I accidentally then took a pair of pliers in where I was working with seed beads and accidentally broke a bead. It's happened a few times. And remember way back at the beginning, I was talking about one of the jump rings kind of got misshapen. And I can't even tell which one that is now. So I guess I'm not worried about replacing that one because I've been working along and didn't spot it. So it must not have been looked quite as bad as I thought it did. I'm liking this. I think the rainbow idea is a good one. Come on. Fun. So 3 more reds. 3 more oranges. And I guess we're ending with yellow. Landa is saying she likes this. She's not tried chainmail. This is a pretty easy pattern, Landa, so I think you should try it. It will, you know, it'll take a little bit to get the hang of it, of working with the jump rings like this. But, and again, a lot of repetitive motion, so pay attention and take very good care of your hands and your arms. If you are going to get into chainmail. Oh, this is the jump ring that was got a little bit wacky. I think it looks okay once the seed beads are on there. You can't tell. I like it. What do you guys think? I love it. So that's it, guys. That is the Berrylicious Chainmaille bracelet, although now we have to change the name of this version. This one will be called the Rainbow Chainmaille bracelet, I guess. I don't think it's a hard pattern. I think you guys could totally do this. Kimberly is saying, love that it's mixed metal. And I do think that might be a good way to start if you're just going to start a chainmail project. Mixed metal might make it easier to, until your eyes get used to looking at the jump rings. And speaking of looking at the jump rings, I'm going to stop and look up right now and stretch my arms and look at the ceiling instead of down at my work mat. Was that light off the whole time? If you guys were watching me last week, I was complaining about this light not working well, and it looks like, again, it was on, but when did it flick off and sabotage our light? Anyway, I think it's a great project. I think you guys should try it. I'm going to switch my camera. Yeah, I love it. I do think that, I think I was talking about the mixed metal and how definitely might make it easier when you're doing a chainmail pattern if you're looking at different colored jump rings until your eyes kind of get used to it. Are you guys, any of you do jigsaw puzzles? I did one over the holidays for the first time in a long time. I haven't done one. And it's such a kind of an interesting thing to get used to looking at something like that and finding the pieces and being able to focus long enough on an area of the puzzle to then go hunt down the pieces that look like they belong in that. It was an interesting challenge, and I was very conscious of the work that my brain was trying and my eyes were trying to do, which was very different from what I do in my normal life. So that was interesting doing that puzzle, and I think that there might be a little bit of that to chainmail too. That getting used to looking at those tiny little jump rings. So I'm going to take a picture of this and I don't know, post it, and I'll add it to the website, of course, because I like to add the variations to the inspiration pages. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm just super happy with how that came out, and I'll probably put it on and wear it the rest of the day. It's Rainbowlicious, Melanie says, and I agree. So thanks, guys. Don't know what I'm doing next week yet. Please watch for that on Saturday. I usually have those set up in the posts on Saturday to tells you what the next week's demo is. And I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, there is something interesting coming up at the end of next week on Friday the 13th. If you're a member of the Great Bead Extravaganza group, there's a bead trade design event that's going on Friday. It'll be all day long, and a bunch of the vendors got to gather product together, and we sent them to each other. So I think there's 8 or 10 of us participating. So there'll be design parties basically scheduled throughout the day in the Great Bead Extravaganza group, and where we're paired up, and everybody sent everybody parts, and we're just going to design on the fly. Some of the vendors did this before last year. I did not participate at that time. I sent product, but I didn't participate in the design parties. So that's next Friday. If you're not a member of the Great Bead Extravaganza group, you could hop over there and check that out, because it'll probably be pretty fun. Everybody working with the same product and just seeing everybody will do something different. So it will be fun to see. So please join us for that. And I will hopefully see you guys next Tuesday. And have a great week, and be well and make wonderful things. And we'll see you later. Bye.